Joining us now to talk more about ICE enforcement in Chicago is Illinois Representative Brad Schneider. So glad to have you with us this morning. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
You know, I would like to start with something we were just talking about before the segment began. The president's been using a lot of war references when it comes to Chicago, and now he's using Operation Midway Blitz, Midway, of course, being a pivotal battle during World War II. What do you make of this imagery?
Well, I think the whole idea that the administration has is to scare and intimidate our local communities, people in and around Chicago. If they wanted to work with us, if they wanted to collaborate with us, that's what they'd be doing. Rather than trying to co-opt our police department, they could collaborate with our police department, try to keep our communities safe and secure. This is about in the messaging. You saw what the president put on social media over the weekend, effectively declaring war on the third largest city in America. It's all in intention to intimidate and scare, and we're just not going to let them do it to us.
If you're wondering what the congressman is talking about, we can show you that AI-generated image from Trump's Truth Social account, sort of a play on Apocalypse Now. It says Shy-Apocalypse. There it is. You see it on your screen. He says, Chicago about to find out why it's called the Department of War. Congressman, look, I get things in Chicago from a police, law enforcement standpoint different than in D.C. The president has the authority under D.C.'s home rule to take control of MPD, and he says that those efforts have led to crime decreasing in the city. For those who might say, why wouldn't Chicago and its leaders want to work with the federal government if it's offering help to lower crime? Why wouldn't you want to do that? What do you say to those folks?
We do want to work with the federal government to lower crime. That's why we're asking the president to release the $158 million he's holding up for gun violence prevention, the $800 million for violent crime programs to reduce violent crime in communities across the country. I think every community across the country would be willing to work with the federal government if the federal government was willing to cooperate with them to do what the communities need and to do it over a long-term period. You know, when you send in the troops for a brief moment, certainly things are going to change. I studied engineering in college. There's something called the Hawthorne effect. In a factory, when you turn the lights up, productivity went up for a period, and then it came down. And then if you turn the lights down, the same thing happened. The effect of paying attention has a positive impact, but it has to be sustained. And the only way we sustain it, we'd be far better off surging additional police officers to local police departments than a temporary deployment of National Guard, which is not what the Guard is intended to do.
How would you characterize the prevailing sentiment of your constituents, or most of your constituents, and those in the city?
Yeah, I think there's three pieces to it. The first is angry that the president is targeting Chicago, saying things that simply are not true about our fabulous communities. I think the second is confusion. There's been a total lack of communications from the administration. What they have been saying is more about bravado than providing information and facts. And the third is fear. People are afraid that this is an administration that trying to deflect from the bad news that might be out there. You know, you saw the news yesterday with President Trump and the Epstein files that continues to dog the president and the administration. And every time there's a spike there, you're going to see a pushback on the administration with, I would argue, not positive behaviors in other aspects of the work they're doing.
I want to play some sound from Governor J.B. Pritzker in Illinois about this whole situation. Let's listen.
I refuse to concede that the abject cruelty that we're seeing play out with the execution of Trump and Stephen Miller's policies are okay or justified. I refuse to fall into the pundit trap that demands we sacrifice vital constitutional rights if it's being done in the fake guise of fighting crime.
Congressman, can I ask you a hypothetical? Let's say you were talking to J.B. Pritzker and he said, Congressman, I don't want the Guard in Chicago. We're going to fight that as much as we can. But I do want federal help. I want to see more FBI, ATF, DEA agents on the streets of Chicago. What would you tell the governor if he told that to you?
Well, the governor said that, and I agree with him. We would welcome more ATF officers to help us get guns off our streets. Most of the guns picked up in crimes in Chicago were not bought and sold in Chicago. They're bought in states outside of Illinois and trafficked into Chicago. Since I've been in Congress, I've been working as part of the Gun Violence Prevention Task Force to pass legislation that would make it harder for criminals to traffic guns across state lines. We need to have universal background checks. That's something that I'm sure the governor would work with us on. And I think the majority of the nation supports the idea that we should keep guns out of the hands of criminals, out of gang members, out of terrorists. This is just common sense, and we should be working together. Again, the administration is doing the exact opposite.
Congressman, we've just about got to go here, but what haven't we asked you that you would like people to consider?
What kind of country are we becoming? This is a nation that was built by immigrants. My family came in the later part of the 1900s or 1800s, early part of the 1900s. I am the grandchildren of immigrants, and I'm proud of that history. It's a part of my identity. And I was in Germany this past summer. Monday will mark the 90th anniversary of the passing of the Nuremberg race laws. What the president is doing, the ruling of the Supreme Court yesterday that segregates people based on the color of their skin, the language they speak. Next thing you know, will they be having people wear yellow stars if you're Jewish or some other identity just to separate us? We're a country, e pluribus unum. We need to come together as one. And that's what this administration should be working on rather than trying to divide us.
All right. Illinois Congressman Brad Schneider. Congressman, thank you so much for your time and your insight. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.